It's Therapy Tuesday with Dr. Christy Kane. Today we're going to be talking about gossip versus character. So this is going to be an interesting topic. Dr. Christy Kane is one of the leading experts with the church on it with pornography. And we're so blessed to be able to have her to be able to join these events. And what I'm going to do is send her a request so she can join. And you guys can get your questions ready for Dr. Kane. And I'll just type in here she is. And let's take it over to Dr. Kane. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Dennis?
It's great to see you.
Good to see
So,
you.
so this is a great topic we have tonight. Would you like to talk about it with our friends?
Yes, because I was in a session with a client and we were having a discussion about internal conversations about ourselves and external conversations about others. And my advice to this client was to think about the difference of a conversation of gossip and a conversation of character. So I thought that would be a good discussion for this evening.
Yeah. So what would be your advice for people about this genre, if you may?
I think it's so easy for us as humans to quickly go into the side of gossip because as humans, we want to feel justified or we want to prove our point, or sometimes, we're excitable, where knowing a character discussion seeks to gain more depth and understanding. So that if there's something going on with a person, instead of sharing the negative, we may stop for a moment in a character discussion and say, I wonder why they're facing that. I wonder why they may be doing that. I wonder if there's a better way to approach this, so that we look at it from that perspective of empowerment, whether it's ourselves or others, instead of that perspective of tearing down or spreading rumors. And so I think it's really important to think about that.
Do you think that people often spread gossip or rumors because they might be jealous or envious of somebody?
I think sometimes it comes out of insecurity. I think it comes out of ignorance. Sometimes it comes out of desire to be seen maybe as the upper hand. Sometimes it's naivety. Sometimes we share something and we may not even think about that we're gossiping, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's important in this social media world, especially when there's so much negativity shared so fast, that before we comment, before we write, before we add additional things, we should ask, is this a character base? What does this show about my character? What about the character of others? Am I really drawing upon love your neighbor, which was huge in the LDS conference this time?
Yeah.
And am I sharing things that will enlighten and empower versus destroy and impair?
So if somebody finds somebody participating in gossip, what advice would you give them?
In my lifetime, I've had situations where I've been in social settings and I try to shift the conversation. Like, so for example, if they're busy talking about someone, especially if that someone isn't there, I'll say something like, oh my gosh, I read this morning. What do you think about it? So I can shift. Now, if they're not willing to shift, I simply say, I think because that person isn't here, maybe we should shift the conversation.
That's important. That's important. Now, if let's say if I find myself gossiping about somebody, what are warning signs, or what are I want to say trigger points, or how would you teach me if I was constantly talking about somebody in a negative way to shift my thinking?
Well, I think the big thing is to just be self-aware, right? So you started that by saying, if I recognize I was talking negative about others, then I would challenge you to try on a daily basis to talk positive about others, even others you may not like. The interesting thing is, even if we don't like someone, even if we don't necessarily understand someone, we can almost always find something positive to offer a compliment, whether it's like,
Yes.
Hey, I like your tattoo, or hey, I like your blue shirt, or hey, it was
Yeah.
great to see that you showed up. And
Yes.
that's not being unauthentic. That's
No.
finding something we can honestly compliment in a positive way.
I like that. Is finding something positive to say about somebody, like Dr. Kane, I love your hat.
Thank you.
Or, Dr. Kane, your lipstick is radiant today. Or
Thank you.
some,
Yep.
something positive that's gonna
Yes.
make, but you don't want to be fake, because
Nope.
before I was baptized, I noticed I was telling everybody they were gorgeous all the time. And I noticed that came across as being inauthentic, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Like every time I would see somebody, I'd be like, "You're gorgeous," or "You're gorgeous," or "You're gorgeous," and it just came across as being fake and phony. So I think,
Yep.
there needs to
Yeah.
be some sense of authenticity to that.
And we can be authentic in such simple ways that help another person feel better without creating negativity.
Yes. So we want to open this up to all of you that are watching. If you have any questions for Dr. Christy Kane, she's based in Highland, Utah, but she does see people virtually, and she speaks all over the world. So
I'm actually speaking in St. George this weekend, 2 different times.
awesome.
Yeah.
So St. George, it's awesome. So what's the topic you'll be speaking on?
On understanding mental health, which is
Yeah.
really cool because conference really hit mental health pretty
Yeah.
hard. So I'm actually going to be in the community of Hurricane
Mm.
on Saturday night and in the community of Hillsdale, which is interesting because that's a former polygamous community,
Okay.
on Friday night. And I'm going to be
Okay.
talking about mental health.
Oh, wow. So actually, I think you posted about this in your stories, if I remember. I saw you
Mhm.
saying that you were going to be speaking. So if you're not following Dr. Kane, please click on the button above and click follow, because she does share some great insight every day. She posts either a 1 minute video, 2 minute video on therapy with Dr. Kane. And she also does these great memes that I like to read, which are also insightful to start your day with. What's your website, Dr. Kane?
drchristykane.com. So
Okay.
original, right?
Yeah, it's so original. Hey, at least that domain was available. A lot of them are
Yes, it
gone.
was. Yes, it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, any closing thoughts? I know this is a quick one. We've only done about 8 minutes so far, but actually, we have some questions from our friend LIVMAX. What is your opinion on weighted?
Weighted blankets.
Yeah.
The research on weighted blankets in helping to decrease anxiety is mixed. Some say there's evidence based that the heavy blanket produces oxytocin. The whole purpose of the blanket is to mimic and embrace. I don't think anything should take place of actual human connection. But I think if you're not getting human connection, you need to spend time with animals. If you can't spend time with animals, then maybe a weighted blanket can help. But the whole point is to release oxytocin through that feeling of touch.
That's excellent. So I've actually never heard that statistic before. So I'm glad I'm learning something just hosting these every week. So thank you. Um, any closing thoughts that we have, Dr. Kane, that you would like to share on this topic?
I challenge all of us to elevate our conversations for the purpose of helping others feel good about themselves. Gossip in any form, whether it's on social media, face to face, is never beneficial, but character conversations are very important. So that's my challenge.
That's true. And I mimic that. And I challenge you, if you haven't read Dr. Christy Kane's book, um, I've read it multiple times, actually. You can see my notes that are in here. It's Fractured Souls and Splintered Memories. So we are honored to have Dr. Kane with us every Tuesday for Therapy Tuesday. So we'll see you next Tuesday. And if there's a topic that you would like, please post it in the comment below, and maybe Dr. Kane will notice it and she'll pick up on it.
Sounds good. Thanks,
All
Dennis.
right. Thanks, everybody. Bye for
Bye
now.
now.